start a crop, this is your guava. Okay, so this is the botanical name. This is your Psidium guava, Myrtaceae family. Okay, so this is your guava. We will start this crop. Now next is your, this guava occupies 4th position of all the fruits. Okay, 4th position of all the fruits. What are other fruits? Banana, mango, citrus, then guava. Okay, that means in area and production, this guava occupies the 4th position in India. First one is your banana, then mango, then citrus, then your guava. Okay, so this is occupies the your 4th position. Then this is a climatically, this is a subtropical fruit. Okay, this is a subtropical fruit, and it is also known as your apple of tropics. The another name of your guava is your known as your apple of tropics. And this crop is cultivated in India since 17th century. Okay, so this is a very long crop, and origin is your tropical America. Tropical America is the original home of this crop. Now what are the uses? You see, these are the uses. Okay, so uses, first one is your desert fruit. Okay, desert fruit already I have told you, this can be used after meal, isn't it? Okay, like your banana and papaya. Okay, so this can be used as your desert fruit, and this contains high vitamin C content and pectin content. Okay, high vitamin C content, highest vitamin C content fruit is your, yes, next to this your guava. Okay, so, and pectin content, pectin is essential for what? Pectin is very essential for preparation of jelly. That's why guava jelly is an important product or not? So guava jelly is an important commercial product. That's why jelly can be well prepared from this your guava. Next is your canned fruit. Canned fruit, you see, canned fruit means you can go for marketing the guava slices in the cans. Okay, in the cans, so that you can use it. So in ice creams and soft drinks also prepared from guava. Guava drink is also there, isn't it? This is guava drink. Okay, so guava drink can be prepared. These are the juices can be prepared. Okay, so ice creams are also given the guava flavor, isn't it? So in some of the ice creams guava is given. The next is your, and in the villages, you see, in the villages, when the children facing some acute diarrhea problem, then the villagers normally they used to give them the small leaves of guava. Have you seen this? Okay, this is good for diarrhea, and also this is used for preparation of dye in tanning. Dye means for coloring material, in tanning means leather industry, isn't it? So this is used, and this is a small leaves are used for curing diarrhea. So this is a good medicine. Okay, these are some of the important things in case of guava. The next is your species and varieties. You see, this is a genus, contains 150 species. And what are the important species? These are important species. Number one, Psidium guinense. This is also known as your Brazilian guava or Guinea guava. This is also known as your Brazilian guava or Guinea guava. This is the spelling you see, Psidium guinense. The next is your Psidium guava. This is the commercial species. Whatever I will give you, the things in case of guava, particular on this species. Okay, so this species, that means Psidium guava is the commercial species of guava. That means whatever the varieties, whatever the things cultivation I will give you on this particular species. This is the commercial varieties. Sorry, commercial species. Then this is the another species is your Psidium pyriferum. This is this species will give you pear-shaped fruit. Pear-shaped fruit. Okay. The next is your Pomiferum. Pomiferum will give you the round fruit. Now another one is your Montanum. You see, Psidium montanum. Psidium montanum is also known as your mountain guava. Why it is known as your mountain guava? Because this can be grown in mountains. Yes, in high altitudes. Okay, so Psidium your montanum. Then you see the spelling of this. Okay, Chinese guava. This is your Psidium Friedrichstalianum. Okay, will you? Then another one species is your Psidium cattleyanum. This is also Cattleya guava. Okay, so these are the important species. The 150 species I will not give you because this is not required for you. But some of the species, what are the important species for guava? I am giving you this. I am giving you these species. Okay, these 7 species. And out of all, this Pseudium guajava is the commercial species. That means whatever the varieties, whatever the cultivation practices, whatever the practice, whatever the things I'll give you on this particular Pseudium guajava species, okay? Whatever the guava you will get in the market, whatever the guava has grown, this is the Pseudium guajava species, okay? So this is about your species. Then next is the varieties, okay? You see the varieties. What are the varieties of guava? Lucknow 49. This is also known as your Sardar guava. Lucknow 49, your plants you have seen. Have you seen Lucknow 49 plants? Then another variety is your Allahabad Safeda. These 2 varieties are very, very important and commercial varieties. And Allahabad Safeda and Lucknow 49 you have seen in our farm. The Harijja, Citadel, apple color, Behat coconut, pear shaped, Barnipur, red flesh, seedless. So these are some of the varieties of guava. Okay, these are some of the important varieties of guava. Okay. The another variety you can write is your Arca medulla. Arca, A-R-K-A, Arca medulla. Okay, this is also one variety of guava. Another variety is nowadays available. This is your pink guava. I will show you one plant in the field, our field. Okay, I will show you one plant in our field, which is the color is the pink color. Okay, I will show you this plant in our field. Okay, this is pink guava. So these are some of the varieties of guava. These are some of the varieties, but this Lucknow 49 is also known as your Sardar guava and Allahabad Safeda. You see, this Allahabad Safeda is also, these 2 are very, very important commercial varieties. Okay. Then next is your soil requirement. You see, and you see one thing. Before this soil, you write this soil, okay? And Allahabad Safeda is Allahabad is well known in world for producing quality guava, right? Allahabad is well known in the world for producing quality guavas. So that's why the variety Allahabad Safeda is a very, very important commercial variety. Okay, and this is the soil requirement. What is the soil requirement? In a nutshell, I am giving this. You see, the soil requirement can thrive in all types of soil, from alluvial to laterite. That means from all types of soil, this crop can be grown. But what is the base soil? You see, this is the base soil. Deep, well-drained, sandy loam, pH 4.5 to 8.2. You know the pH. What is pH? 4.5 means this is. Then 8.2 means. Yes, that means at 7 neutral soil, right? Okay. So it's a long range of pH. You see, long range of pH. This is your 4.5 to 8.2. This within this pH range, this guava can be grown. Okay, and this saline or alkaline soil is harmful for this crop. Okay, so and the topsoil should be rich. I have already told you in one practical. You see, in practical I have already told you one thing, that when you will go for making the pits, you will get 2 layers of soil, isn't it? One is your surface soil, another is your subsurface soil, isn't it? So topsoil is also the surface soil. So topsoil should be rich in nutrient content in case of guava. Why this is in nutrient content? Because you see, the root growth mainly confined to 0 to 20 centimeter depth. That means most of the roots you will get on the surface soil. Okay, that is why the surface soil should be always rich in nutrient content in guava. Okay, the base soil is this deep and well drained. Well drained means there should not be any waterlogging. So waterlogging is very, very harmful for your fruit plants. Already I have told you. Okay, so next is your climatic requirement. What is the climatic requirement for guava? What should be the climate? What should be the ideal climate for guava? You see, first of all, though this is a subtropical fruit, isn't it? Though this is a subtropical fruit, but it can be grown in tropical climate also. Okay, subtropical fruit, though it is a subtropical fruit, can be grown in tropical climate. So one thing is important here. This is your distinct winter. That means in a particular year, some periods should be winter season. Okay, that's why in our region you will get winter from this month, isn't it? From November to February you will get the winter month. So there is a distinct winter period or not. So that's why this crop can be easily grown in our region. Okay, then This crop can be grown up to 5,000 feet, that means 1515 meter, up to an altitude of 5,000 feet from the mean sea level. That's why this crop also can be grown to up to this level. Then what is the rainfall requirement? You see 1016 millimeter per year, restricted between June to September. That means June to September rainfall is required, and that is why our condition is suitable for growing guava, because you will get the distinct winter and also you will get the rainfall, isn't it? In between these months you will get the rainfall or not. That is why this is very, very important. Okay, and requires dry climate during flowering. Why? Because if there will be rain in the flowering period, then what will happen? Falling of the flowers, isn't it? So falling of the flowers, and also for fruiting this dry climate is required, isn't it? But high temperature is harmful for the development of the fruit. High temperature, very high temperature will cause the fruit drop. That is why this is the climatic requirement, and that is why this guava can be grown easily in our region, because this is suitable for our region, isn't it? So propagation, you see, propagation. Okay, guava can be propagated by air laying. You have done this in the practical or not? You have done this in the practical. So this is the method or not? You have done it. Okay, you have done it. So guava is propagated commercially by air layering. But nowadays also patch budding also can be done. But the commercial method of propagation in guava is your air layering. Air layering is the commercial method of propagation. What to do? First of all, you will have to remove the bark. You have done it in your practical or not? Okay, so first of all you will have to remove the bark portion, and before that you should select the branch where you will go for air layering. What type of branch? Pencil thickness branch. Okay, second step will be you should go for removing the bark portion, 2.5 to 3 centimeter in length, isn't it? This is the removal of bark portion just below the node. Okay, then second thing is you should go for removing your this one bark portion. Then this is, and now that you see their rooting medium has been placed. How this rooting medium has been prepared, I have already told you in the practical class. Okay, I have given you. So you have already done it. So rooting medium is placed, then it is wrapped with your transparent polythene sheet, and both the ends should be tied. Why this transparent polythene sheet? No any black or white or yellow or blue polythene, isn't it? Why? Because to see the roots from outside, number one. Second thing, yes, okay, for these two regions this transparent polythene sheet is used, and roots will come out from where? From the upper end, isn't it? From the upper end. Okay, from the upper end roots will come out from the upper end. Why this is come out from the upper end? I have already told you, because the food material will come and this will be accumulated and there will be bulging will take place. Then what will happen? Etiolation will start, isn't it? Because of this etiolation, callus formation, callus tissue formation, and because of which you will get the roots. And what to do next? Next thing is when sufficient roots will come out, then you will have to cut it from the mother plant 5 centimeter below the cut, and you should go for keep it in the nursery, and which will be ready for planting in the next season, isn't it? So this is your air layering. So this is your patch budding, you see. Patch budding is also important in guava. Nowadays patch budding is also done in guava. Okay, nowadays patch budding is also done in guava. So for patch budding, I have already told you that for budding and grafting, what are the two things required? Rootstock and scion, isn't it? Scion or bud stick. Here this is a budding. So what type of scion will be required here? Only a bud, because the graft for budding you should go for putting a bud on the rootstock, isn't it? You should insert a bud on the rootstock, single bud, with a small portion of bark. Okay, here you see, this is the method of your budding. This is the method of your budding, and these are the rootstocks. Already I have told you these rootstocks. You see, I have. That's why the Chinese guava. Already Chinese guava. I have already told you to remember it, isn't it? Why? Because this is an important rootstock for patch budding in guava. Okay, rootstock normally in case of Chinese guava and Cattley guava, these two rootstocks are generally used for patch budding in guava. And scion, from whatever the variety you require, you should go for taking the scion and you should place it. Okay, so rootstock is, and this guava, Chinese guava, why it is important? Because you see, resistant to wilt disease. Guava wilt is a very big problem in guava. Okay, very loss, and due to this wilt, heavy loss of the crop is faced by the farmers. Okay, and I will tell you what is a wilt disease. I will tell you what is a wilt disease, what are the symptoms and how it can control. I will tell you. But the one of the control measure for this your controlling this your wilt disease is to take the Chinese guava as rootstock. If you will take the Chinese guava as rootstock, then what will happen? There will not be any. This is resistant to wilt. Okay, that is why there you will not get any wilt disease. Then dwarfing effect, and this Chinese guava, okay, Chinese guava is dwarf. Chinese people are dwarf or not? So that's why this is a Chinese guava, okay, dwarf. That's why the plant will remain dwarf. And nematode resistant. Nematode attack you will not get. So next is another one is your Cattley guava. Cattley guava is also used as rootstock. What is the botanical name? This is your Psidium cattleyanum. So this is Psidium fratriculatum. Okay, so Cattley guava, and for normally Allahabad sofeda. For Allahabad, that means Allahabad sofeda is used as a scion, and Cattley guava is used as a rootstock. So the bud is taken from, that means the bud is taken from this Allahabad sofeda. It should be placed here, and this is the method of your patch budding. You see, okay, this is the bud. This is the bud stick, isn't it? And you have taken this is the bud stick, and from this you have taken the bud. Okay, bud patch. Bud patch means bud with a patch of bark, and you should place it here on the stalk, and where you should tie it. But one thing is important: always the bud should be exposed. It should not be covered. Okay, so from this you will get the new branches will come out, isn't it? So ultimately the upper portion will be from the Allahabad sofeda for Cattley guava. Okay, Cattley guava is a rootstock, suppose. And if any variety you will get it, suppose you will take Chinese guava, then Chinese guava is rootstock. Another variety you can go for patch budding on this your Chinese guava. So this is the patch budding. Nowadays also in guava patch budding is done. Okay, but the most commonly the commercial method is your air layering. You see, planting. Always for planting, this is the common thing. Land should be plowed, harrowed and leveled. Okay, it should be done. Plowing should be done, then harrowing should be done, then leveling should be done. This is a common thing, isn't it? Then next is your pitch size. 1 meter cube. 1 meter cube means 1 meter
length.
Yes, 1 meter length, 1 meter breadth and 1 meter depth. So 1 meter cube. In case of banana, what is the pitch size? Yes, 0.45 meter cube, isn't it? So in guava, that's why I have already told you that for different crops the pitch size will be different, isn't it? So this is the pitch size, 1 meter cube. And digging of pits digging of pits and filling of pits, same for other crops, already I have told you, isn't it? So filling up of pit and digging of pit, already I have told you, same thing you should go. You have done one practical. So system of planting, square system of planting. You know better what is square system of planting, okay? And one system of planting is a square system. That means 4 corners of each square. Okay, 4 corners of each square. That means the land should be divided into different numbers of squares according to spacing, right? According to the spacing. That means from here to here same, from here to here same, isn't it? What is the spacing here? There is a 3.6 to 5.4 into 3.6 to 5.4. But in our region, guava is planted in 6 meter into 6 meter spacing. Okay, in our region, guava is planted in 6 meter into 6 meter spacing. But the ideal spacing is this one. But we can go up to 6 meter into 6 meter spacing. So 6 meter into 6 meter spacing means from one plant to another plant 6 meter, and from one row to another row 6 meter, isn't it? So this is the square system of planting. Already we have done one practical. So 25 to 30 kg farmyard manure with topsoil. That means when to apply farmyard manure? Yes, at the time of pit making, isn't it? Like your banana, like your other crops. So banana, what was the rate? 12 kg per pit. Okay. Here the rate is your 12 to 25 to 30 kg of farmyard manure per pit at the time of filling up of the pit. How to fill up the pit? First of all, the topsoil plus farmyard manure, you will have to put it at the bottom, then above that the surface soil, subsurface soil, isn't it? So the soil should be reversed. Already I have told you. So planting time is your ideal planting time is your March, April. March, April is the ideal planting time for planting guava. If you want to go for planting in the month of March, then when you should go for making the pit? That means in the month of February. Okay. Fertilizer schedule for guava is this one. So manure fertilizers, this is the farmyard manure, then your urea, then your SSP, then MOP, isn't it? This is for nitrogen, phosphorus and potash. So up to 6 years. From planting up to 6 years, from first year to 6th year, this is the planting your fertilizer dose. 5 to 10 kg of farmyard manure, then urea 150 gram, and SSP 500 gram, and MOP 100 gram per plant per year. Okay, per plant per year. Then after 6 years, because guava is a long duration crop, isn't it? Long duration crop. After 6 years, this is the fertilizer dose. This is the fertilizer dose. 15 to 20 kg of farmyard manure per plant per year, 500 gram urea, 1500 gram SSP, then MOP 400 gram. This is the fertilizer dose after 6 years. Okay, after 6 years. And in case of fertilizer dose, I have already told you three things are important. One thing is the dose. Second, time of planting. It is the time of planting, you see. 2 equal splits. That means this fertilizer should be divided into 2 equal splits. Suppose 150 gram urea, that means 75 and 75. Okay. So 500 means 250, 250, 100 means 50-50. Like that, you will have to split it into 2 equal halves. Then one part should be applied in the month of February, March, another part in the month of September, October. Then this is the again for after 6 years also same thing you will have to do. This is the 2 split doses, 2 equal splits. That means you should divide the fertilizers into 2 equal halves. Then one part in the month of February, March, another part in the month of September, October. Now next is your, what is the method, isn't it? First thing your dose I have given you, then the time I have given you, then third is the method. What is the method? Already I have shown you in the field, this is your ring method. You have applied the fertilizers in which crop? In the field? Coconut. Okay, same process. That means the ring method of application should be done. So ring method of application, the ring should be applied 8 to 10 centimeter depth, 8 to 10 centimeter deep, and 8 to 10 centimeter breadth. Okay, so this is the ring method of, and ring should be 60 centimeter away from for non-bearing plants where you will get not fruits. Okay, so bearing has not been started in some of the plants. Suppose bearing has not been started, so in a non-bearing plant this should be applied 60 centimeter away from the plant. Then for bearing plants normally your 5 years 6 years plants, these are 150 to 180 centimeter for bearing plants. Then for some plants you may get old plants, isn't it? Okay, for that 210 to 240 centimeter away from the plant. So this should be done according to your requirement of the age of the plant, and your time of application is your February, March and September, October. Okay. Then next is your intercropping. Okay, intercropping, you see, what are the intercrops can be grown in guava? What is an intercrop? What is an intercrop? Crop grown in between the plant knot. This is the in between the rows of the plants, isn't it? So this is the intercrop. And filler is the planted at the center of each square in the diagonal system of planting, isn't it? Called quincunx system of planting. So this is the difference between filler and intercrop. So this is pineapple, peas, cowpea, gram, beans, ginger, turmeric. These can be grown as intercrops. But for intercropping in the fruit plants, intercropping is the fruit plant, you should keep in mind that the intercrops should be grown up to the bearing stage only. After bearing stage, no intercrops are allowed to grow. not only for guava and also for other fruits also, intercrops are allowed to grow up to the bearing stage of the fruit plants. After bearing has, suppose the plants have come into bearing, then after bearing, no any intercrops are allowed to grow. Right? So, up to bearing stage, that means at the early stage, I have written in this slide, you see at early stage, that means before bearing stage. Then irrigation, you see, irrigation should be done early years, 8 to 10 irrigation per year. Okay? 8 to 10 irrigation per year should be applied, and for full grown trees at weekly intervals. So at weekly intervals in case of your winter months irrigation is essential. And nowadays one irrigation method is very useful nowadays. What is the irrigation method? Drip, isn't it? Okay, drip method of irrigation is normally applied. Okay, nowadays drip irrigation is normally advised because of no water loss, water economy, isn't it? So, and whatever the water you will apply according to the requirement, that means all the water will be taken up by the plants. So no any water loss. That's why for water economy, this drip irrigation is applied. Then next is your training and pruning. Objective of training is to give strong framework of the plant. Okay, that means you should give a proper shape of the plant by training, isn't it? So when this can be done? Training at the early stage of the plant. Early stage of the plant you can go for give proper shape of the plant and to give strong framework also, okay? And also for bearing a remunerative crop. That means this training and pruning is essential in guava. Why? What is the objective? You see, first is to provide strong framework. That means the framework of the plant should be strong. That means shape is proper. Then also the branches, you should keep the branches wherefrom you will get the remunerative crop. Remunerative crop means what? Remunerative crop. Remunerative means which will give you more income, isn't it? More income, better price. Okay, so this will give you some of the branches you should keep, which should be give you the remunerative crop. Remunerative crop means which will give you the better production. Okay, ultimately you will get the better price and also better income. Okay, so you should keep it. So open center training system is followed. Have you done this open center training system? Do you know what is this? Huh? You have a practical in your practical manual. You can see this. Your training and practical will be held. This practical you have done it? No. Okay. You will get on practical. Practically, Dr. R.P. Das will take show you this different training methods. Okay, training and pruning methods. This is open center training system is normally followed. You see, what is open center training system? The center should be open. Okay, so center should be open and all the branches, side branches should grow, all the center should be open so that the sunlight will fall and will well distributed to different parts. Okay, so this is your open center training system. That means when you can do it, when you can make it, you can make it when the plant is at the young stage. You can make it. An open center training system is normally followed in guava. So another one process is followed in guava is your bending, you see. So bending is a process which is also followed in guava. So what is bending? Here you see the branches are bent down. Okay, branches are bent down and tied each other. That means the branches are bent down, then tied each other. And when you will do this in guava, the dormant bud. What do you mean by this dormant? Dormancy. What is dormancy? What is dormant? Huh? Inactive. That means resting period, isn't it? Dormancy is a resting period. So whatever the dormant bud will be there, this will force to grow. Okay. So because of this, the yield will be increased. Yield will be increased, and that's why this process is followed in guava. But this is not followed nowadays in only in the Bengal areas this is done, but other areas this is not done because this yield will increase in the first year. Okay, but next year onward the yield will reduce. That is why this process is not done, but this is one process is practiced in guava. This is bending. Now next is your pruning, you see. So in case of guava, this pruning is also practiced. So light annual pruning is essential. Why this light annual pruning is essential? Because this light annual pruning is essential to encourage the growth of what? Encourage the growth of new branches, new shoots. Because this, you see, the fruits are born on current season's growth. That means fruits are born on current season's growth. Current season's growth means what? That means in the new branches, isn't it? The fruits will born on the new branches. Then to get the maximum yield or to get more productivity, more production, then what to do? You should encourage new production of new branches or not? Okay, how can this can be done? This can be done by annual light pruning. Okay, annual pruning is essential, which will annual pruning is essential after harvesting of the fruit. Annual pruning is essential so that in the next season the new branches will come out and new branches will give you the fruits. So this is the ideology for annual pruning in guava. Then all the dead branches, that means what are the branches dead, then disease affected branches, then disease and pest attack branches should be pruned. This is the common thing, isn't it? Okay, all the dead branches, then dry branches, disease affected branches, pest attack branches should be cut, should be pruned. And the most important thing is your light annual pruning is essential. Why this light annual pruning? This will encourage the growth of new branches. When there will be more number of new branches, that means more number of fruits you will get. So this is important. Then flowering and fruit set, you see. This is a photograph of your guava flowers. Okay, white color flowers you have seen in the field. So time of flowering is, you see, time of flowering is your April-May flowering, you will get September-October flowering. In our region, you will get 2 seasons flowering. In case of guava, you will get 2 seasons. 2 times flowering in a year. What are 2 times? You see, one is your April-May flowering, another is your September-October flowering. And April-May flowering is known as your rainy season crop, and September-October flowering is known as your winter season crop. So 2 crop per year you will get in our region. So these are the 2 crop. One is your rainy season crop. Flowering you will get in the month of April-May, and flowering you will get in the month of September-October. Whatever the fruits you will get in the winter season, this is known as your winter season crop. So bearing habit means where the fruits will born. This is a terminal bearing habit, isn't it? Terminal bearing habit means at the terminal portions of the plant you will get the fruits. Okay, branches you will get the fruits. Then flowering period 25 to 45 days. Flowering period means what? You see, suppose in a plant flowering starts today, this will continue up to 25 to 45 days. After 45 days in that particular plant you will not know any flower will come out. Okay, so in a plant, suppose flowering has been started, this will continue up to 25 to 45 days. After 45 days you will not get any flower. So within 25 to 45 days, so flowering will be completed. This is the known as your flowering period. So these are the 2 seasons of flowering. So 2 crop you will get in a year, and terminal bearing habit, and these are the flowers. Next is this is one important thing, very very important thing in guava. Regulation of flowering in guava. To write this, I will explain it. This is very very important in guava. Lot of questions normally asked. What is regulation of flowering? How this can be done? Why this can be done? Why this regulation should be done? How this can be done? And what is the benefit of this regulation of flowering? First of all, this regulation of flowering, what do you mean by this regulation of flowering? Flowering at the same time, this is your uniform flowering. Okay, regulation of flowering, that means you should regulate the flowering. You should regulate the flowering. You can increase in one season, you can reduce in one season. Okay, that is your regulation. You can regulate in the plant. You can regulate in the plant so that you can get more number of flowers in a particular season, less number of flowers in a particular season. You can regulate it. Normally this is done in case of guava and another crop. This is your pomegranate. Pomegranate in guava and pomegranate. So why it is important? In guava, why it is important? You see, rainy season fruits are insipid in taste. What do you mean by this insipid? Insipid means is watery in taste, isn't it? Watery in taste and less sugar content. Okay, so because of which the quality is inferior quality. Okay, that means when the fruits, rainy season fruits, that means rainy season fruits means I have given you two seasons, isn't it? One is your rainy season crop, another is your winter season crop. That means that whatever fruits you will get from the rainy season crop, that means from the April, May flowering, those fruits are insipid in taste. Insipid means the water in taste, less sugar content, because of which the quality is inferior. When the quality will be inferior, then what will happen? You will get less price in the market, isn't it? Okay, that is important thing. Then winter season fruits are superior in size and quality. You see, if winter season crop is superior in quality, then what crop you want? Winter season crop, isn't it? That means, so regulation is essential to get more winter season crop and less rainy season crop. That means what you should do? You should do something so that you will get more number of flowers, more number of fruits in winter season and less number of fruits in rainy season. This is known as your regulation of flowering. That means you should regulate the flowering in winter season and also rainy season, so that in both these seasons you can regulate the flowering. In one season you should get more number of flowers and fruits, another season less number of flowers and fruits. That is why this regulation of flowering in guava is essential, because in case of rainy season crop, the fruits are insipid in taste, that means inferior quality fruits you will get. But in case of winter season crop, that means the winter season fruits are superior quality. That means you should increase the number of fruits in winter season, you should reduce the number of fruits in rainy season. And this is the reason why this regulation of flowering is essential in guava. So now the question will come. You see, how will you do it, isn't it? So if you want to go for regulating the flowers in case of guava, suppose in the month of any month you should do it, isn't it? You should do some treatments, you should do something in the plant, isn't it? So that we can get this. So how will you do it? So I will give you how this is done. So this is known as your Bahar treatment. One treatment is your Bahar treatment. This is Bahar treatment. You can go for regulating the flowers. Please remember this name, Bahar treatment. So what is Bahar treatment? You see, suppose you see what is Bahar treatment. I will tell what is Bahar treatment. What is the Bahar treatment? You see, Bahar treatment means exposure of roots to the hot sun. That means, suppose your rainy season crop, what is the flowering period? Flowering time? April, May, isn't it? So in this particular season, you should go for Bahar treatment. What to do here? You should go for expose the roots. So I have already told you that guava is a surface crop, isn't it? So you should expose the roots here. You should expose the roots of guava plant nearby areas, at the canopy areas, okay? So then after that, if you will go for exposing the roots, then root pruning should be done. Some of the small roots should be pruned. Then you should go for no any water should be applied up to before the onset of monsoon. Okay. Now what will happen? And this should be completed within June 10th. So you see, this should be completed within June 10th. That means if you will do this exposure of roots, root pruning, no any water should be applied, then what will happen? What will happen? Suppose you will do in the month of April, May, June, what will happen? What will happen? Flowers will fall down, isn't it? Because whatever the flowers you will get in the rainy season will fall down or not. So this will fall down. So this is your ultimate aim, isn't it? Ultimate aim is what? Ultimate aim is to get rainy season crop. So you want to go for minimizing the rainy season crop. So you should go for minimizing the rainy season crop. So Bahar treatment, you should expose the roots, then no any water should be applied. Then what will happen? Then some of the flowers will fall, because of which you get less rainy season crop. Now again, after doing this, you should go for covering it with water and manure mixture. You see, water and manure mixture, that means with soil and manure mixture. This is a mistake. With soil and manure mixture, not water and manure mixture. Okay, soil and manure mixture. Okay, this would be soil. So this should be covered with your soil and manure mixture. That means manure mixture means farmyard manure. Farmyard manure and soil should be mixed, and you should cover it, and this should be covered. Again then, the irrigation should be provided. Irrigation should be provided because the heavy shower is coming, isn't it? Because the heavy shower is coming. Before that, you should provide too light irrigation, right? So because of this, what you will get? Because of this, the rainy season crop will be your fall down. Some of the flowers will fall down, and you have applied this your soil and manure mixer. Then you have applied irrigation. Then what will happen? In the September, October, you will get profuse flowering, right? Because you have reduced the number of flowers by doing this Bahar treatment, and then you will get more number of flowers in the September, October. Then again also this you can do it by thinning of rainy season flowers by application of Na. Na is an oxygen, isn't it? Naphthalate acetic acid, and this is an oxygen by application of 100 ppm and 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenoxy acetic acid. So 50 ppm and 100 ppm. Then if you spray it, then it will increase the winter season crop. Okay. Then hand thinning. Hand thinning means what? You can pluck the flowers in the rainy season, isn't it? You can pluck the flowers, you can take the flowers from the plant and you can destroy it. So when you will do it, then what will happen? This is also one method by which you can go for thinning of the flowers, so that you will get more number of flowers in the winter season. Okay.